Canadian futures trader. Here is currently Tuesday, April the 20th, 2021, about 2 p.m. Pacific time. And got some great news today, we got some bad news today, and we got some good news today. Little bad news sandwich, but nonetheless, great news. You probably saw my other video already, but if you have not, definitely one you want to watch. Earn2Trade is going to be giving away a 100K Gauntlet Mini through me, through my video, and leaving a comment. I don't want to rehash the whole thing, but basically I have a post about it on my website. So if you go to my website, this will be on the right hand side right here. You can click here for all the information, or you can just go to the video, which is Earn2Trade 100K Gauntlet Mini giveaway on my channel, which I put up earlier this morning. So the contest will run for a week, so it will be next Wednesday. I believe it's April 28th before we actually select the winner. But definitely participate. I mean, you might get a free account out of it, and you have absolutely nothing to lose. So that's the great news. The bad news has absolutely nothing to do with what you're looking at. I'll explain this in a second. But I blew my Earn2Trade 150K account on day number 6, no less. If you saw yesterday's video, I definitely had a bad day. Gave up a ton of the profit I had made. Still had a chance at making something out of that account though, for sure, but then today as well just did not go well. I fought it for several hours, and it was just slowly getting chipped away, and then kind of got to the point where there was no more chipping to be had. There's also a bit of balancing the concept of how many days are left until your next billing period. Essentially, if I was going to reset, I should do it either today or at the latest by Wednesday if I want to avoid a subsequent month's charges. So I decided, well, I didn't really decide it. The account blew in either case, but if it hadn't been going well, I might have just considered resetting nonetheless. So I reset, and so the bad news is I blew the account. Not super happy about it. I have a few things to figure out for sure. Definitely a trend that I'm well aware of, that I seem to do really well the first few days, and then about a third of the way in, days 3 to 5, things, I think I start getting a little too risky. I built up a nice buffer, start just kind of going with it, and I start off the day thinking, oh, I've got some buffer to work with, but the thing is, then when a few trades go against me, it kind of puts me in a completely different sort of mode where now I'm fighting it, I'm trying to fight it to get it back to where it was. And then if that just snowballs, you get into a position like I did on day 5 where I basically screwed myself. So I've done that several times in the past. I'm well aware of it, but there comes a point where you're going to keep making the same mistake until you actually actively do something to prevent it or to fix it or to get better at it. So like I said, I did reset. So today, Tuesday, was day 1. I'll show you my results in a second. Before I get to that, I wanted to put this up. I mentioned yesterday that, or I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was going to look more into spreading and whatnot. This is just a screenshot example. Up here on the left, on the left I have the 30-year bond. On the right I have the ultra bond. This is a good example of just how they tend to move basically in tandem. Basically both were sitting right at their high. So this would be like the worst time to put on a spread. But just to give people an idea of what when I talk about it, I'd be looking for something where the 30-year was right here up the high and the ultra bond maybe takes a dip of like 4 or 5 ticks. I would expect them to eventually come back together, and I would make trades appropriately. So that's just an example of what I was talking about. Still, I'm rookie, junior level when it comes to spreading. I'm just trying to identify it, watch the markets, and identify the situations, and then see how they play out and see if I'd be right or wrong. Nonetheless, with the new account that I just reset, I think what I'm going to do is only trade the bonds for a few reasons. I get a little crazy with the NQ, and when it goes in my favor, that's great, but when it goes against me, it goes against me fast and hard. So gonna go back. The bonds are really what I probably feel the most comfortable with. It's fun trading NQ because there's lots of action, but it's not necessarily my best results. And I can prove that by, it'll actually be on the next image. Just give me a second here. So I upload all my stats to TraderVue. I've recommended it before. I like tracking all this type of stuff. If you do as well, I recommend it. There's several journaling softwares out there, but TraderVue works well. I pay $30 a month. So allows you to slice and dice your stats several ways, and the way that I have it right here is I'm going to compare my Ultra Bond results to my NQ results. The star basically is just wild card, so it'll include all contracts. So this is from when I first started tracking my results, which was about October 2020. So scrolling down here, I've highlighted in red the stats that I think are most relevant or that I like to focus on. So on the left is the Ultra Bond, that was from up above, and on the right is NQ. Average per share gain or loss. So people use the software not just for futures, but for stocks as well. That's why it's kind of worded as a per share. But think of it as per tick, essentially, per contract. So think of it as per contract. So average per contract gain or loss, 13.73 for the Ultra Bond, 10 for the NQ. In dollar value, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add that up, this is, about 35% higher than NQ. So tick for tick, or I keep saying ticks, but contract for contract, I'm going to make more on the Ultra Bond with every tick that it moves. Looking at the win-loss and scratch, win rate on Ultra Bond is 60.9, NQ 54.3. Again, in terms of like numbers, that doesn't sound like a huge difference, but over time that adds up. One thing that's also important is I get a lot more scratch trades with the Ultra Bond. Like with bonds, you just have far more opportunity to just scratch a trade and get out if it's not really going your way. With NQ, it's just, I'm surprised it landed on 2% even. Quite honestly, it's probably because I sent like a break even at scratch, and that's what it hit. So while my win rate is bigger with the Ultra Bond, even more important, I think, is that my losing rate. I lose basically 1 out of 3 Ultra Bond trades, but I lose 43%, almost 44% of my NQ trades. So I think the stats speak for themselves. Everything kind of stacks up that I'm just better at trading the Ultra Bond, and over time, law of large numbers, trade after trade, this will add up. So I want to show that. So with all that said, I'm basically prohibiting myself from trading NQ with this latest Earn2Trade. I'm strictly going to trade Ultra Bond or the 30-year bond, and that is it. I've passed evaluations in the past doing only the bonds, and it actually went fairly smoothly, and that is actually one of my funded accounts with OneUp Trader. I think I traded exclusively the Ultra Bond, the 30-year bond, when I passed that. So we're going back to what works. Stay away from the casino, also known as NQ, and that's how we're going to move forward. How was my day one? I hate saying it's day one, but it's day one. Not a bad day. Closed P&L, 1145 after commissions, basically $1,000. Let's put it that way. So not too bad. I have this filtered because I don't know if anyone would care, but with Earn2Trade, you get a SIM account as well. So just so it's not as confusing to look at because there's no second line, I just have it filtered to only show my actual Gauntlet account. That's where we are at, guys. So great news on the giveaway, bad news on busting my account. Good news, we reset, came out strong day one, and I feel pretty happy with my decision to basically just stop myself from trading NQ for now. And let's just focus on specializing in the bonds. Go back to what it has proven to work in the past, go back to what the statistics show I'm better at, and hopefully be successful. So I'm going to leave it at that. Be sure to go check out that video I posted. Do the few steps that I mentioned in the video. Comment with your favorite instrument to trade, your Instagram username, and then go like me and Earn2Trade. And next Wednesday we'll give away one. I'm really excited. This is pretty cool. This is my first kind of official giveaway, if you will. So it's very cool that I get to do that for somebody. And that account's worth several $100s if you were to subscribe. So some lucky person will get to trade Earn2Trade for free. And if you want to check out Earn2Trade, I put a link down below. I'm sure most of you will wait until the giveaway, but if any of you are anxious to get started or want to give it a try or take a look, you always get 20% off when you click my link at Earn2Trade. So that's it, guys. I will update you on day number 2 tomorrow with whatever I do with exclusively the Ultra Bond and the 30-year. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you are being successful, and I'll see you in the next video.